Hello there, Sagittarius. It's so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we're doing your May career and money tarot reading. So we'll take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. And if you're enjoying the content that I create or resonating with the message, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. I really do appreciate all of your support of my channel. Okay, so let's get into your reading, Sag. Porcupine Spirit, time for beginner mind. This is that energy of, and I can't remember if you are the one that had this recently or somebody else, but it's kind of this energy of having a beginner's mind, of understanding that you're going into it. You don't know everything you're going to know 6 months or a year from now, and just embracing that. I've said before on the channel that I was an elementary school teacher, and I used to mentor new teachers, and I always said, take advantage of that first year, and all year long, all you have to do is say, oh, well, it's my first year. I didn't know that. Especially when it really didn't matter, just having that kind of mindset of, I'm just going into this and I'm going to bring all of my enthusiasm that a new teacher has, right? New teachers, they don't have a lot of experience, but what they're lacking in experience, they bring a lot of enthusiasm, right? And that's why I always enjoyed working with them. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like understanding you don't know as much, you don't have as much knowledge or wisdom in whatever it is that you're trying to start here, because this is an energy of starting something new, right? And understanding it's okay. It just gets started because, everybody has to get started at some point, right? People that, are well known in their field, at one point, they were also a beginner. And so it's like, give yourself a break. Understand there is a learning curve. Understand you are going to make mistakes, but that's okay. It doesn't mean it's not your path. It doesn't mean that that's not the way you're supposed to go. Really nice energy. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. Interesting, because I feel as if you're getting this burst. Sometimes this can mean like a big conflict coming up. I'm really getting like this burst of inspiration. Like you wake up and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to go start that business today. It is kind of like you just kind of go with it, and you embrace the journey. You embrace the enthusiasm, the passion that you have, and don't worry so much about the details. It is kind of a nice energy. So let's see what we have here. To the Sea is so interesting because I was thinking before I pulled this card about the explorers like Christopher Columbus, people that explored the oceans and really did not know what was going to occur, right? It's kind of like that energy of, pushing off from shore, not really sure where to go. There's no road. Like think about when you're sailing in the ocean, there's no highway, right? There's no directional signs. That back, then especially they didn't have GPS. They used the stars to help them guide them along the way. So it's kind of interesting. I was thinking about that it's just like push off from shore and go and know that the universe is behind you, because look at this in this card. She's sitting in the boat right here. And it's a bathtub, but her boat. And then up here is spirit, right? You will be guided by spirit. You will be guarded by your angels. You will be safe and protected. So, it's a great time to start something new, which is kind of interesting. We have the new moon in Taurus, which is a little bit about, really looking at your finances. It doesn't mean that you don't take new moons are usually about starting new things, new intentions, But the new moon in Taurus is a little bit, I'm going to do a video later this week, a little bit about holding back, checking out your finances. So let's see what your present energy is here. Patience. You've needed a lot of patience. I love this patience card because if you look right there, she has the seed in her palm and then the flower has grown. It's understanding that whatever you are about to embark on, okay, the ocean that you are planning to cross, okay, it's going to take time. You're not going to start it today and be up and running tomorrow and have customers clamoring for whatever it is that you want to sell or whatever service, or that it's going to take time. You're just planting the seed right now. It takes a lot of sunlight. It takes a lot of water. It takes a lot of care. Especially when you're germinating, especially when it's a new sprout. It's spring where I live, and, the weather is nice one day, but super cold the next. So where I live, a lot of people, want to run out there and start planting their summer flowers. But it's also this energy of, yes, but is the last frost gone? Really, if a frost comes, you just have to cover the thing, the plants up. So it's that energy of planting a seed, but knowing it's going to take time for it to grow and to be able to harvest it. But it's okay, because that's part of your journey, is learning to be patient with yourself, compassionate, gentle, learning how to allow things to grow. Transformation. Wow. Yeah, this is your obstacle. You are definitely starting a new cycle. It's kind of like you're a little bit, it's so funny because I can't remember, may have been Scorpio that had this. This is the death card. The temperance and the death card, like endings and having to wait for the new beginning. There's needing patience of that. And there's also needing patience to allow things to grow, but that is part of your transformation. That is part of the lesson that you are here to learn. When we're in these kind of like gaps, between the end of one cycle and the beginning of the next cycle, a lot of times you see how she's kind of like laying there, there is this downtime, and sometimes we can get really restless with that. But a lot of times that's when we're, getting spiritual wisdom or downloads or intuitive inklings about what is to come. Because when we're busy, working, right? Or doing, and we're not spending enough time being, then it's really hard for us to listen to our intuition. So this is kind of, a little bit of a message of taking that time to really rest and relax and understand that that is also part of your journey, so that you can, get the clarity that you are seeking in order to know how to move forward on your path. Really nice. Okay. So let's see what your strength is, Sag. What is your strength? Base chakra. A solid foundation. I really love this. The base chakra is our first chakra, and it is the chakra that, that we come into this world, and it helps us to feel safe and secure if we're in a safe, secure, nurturing environment. So, as your inner child grows, that's when, things happen along the way that can kind of bring you into a sense of not having a sense of security, right? Of not trusting others or trusting yourself, being fearful that, the bottom's going to drop out or things like that. So I like this. This is your strength. It means that you've done a lot of work healing any of those, early childhood trauma things around security, safety, understanding that you can provide for yourself, that things are going to be okay if for some reason, your business takes a little bit of a dive, or, you know, because things happen in our life, right? Tower moments. And even if it doesn't happen to us, it could happen to somebody in our vicinity. That means a lot to us. So this is a good sense of knowing that you have that emotional stability down deep inside of you, that you can carry on no matter what, that, you're okay. That's a really good, when you have this in alignment, then all of the other chakras sit on top of your base chakra. So because it's at the base of your spine, so it's the foundation. If you have a strong foundation, then everything else can be in alignment with it. So let's see what your lesson is that you're working on. I'll have to say you have all major arcana right now. Spiritual strength. Yeah, this comes back to the Temperance card. So this is like the Nine of Wands. The wounded warrior, you're done. You're done with this cycle, right? Where we have the fiery climax approaches, that could be you just saying, I'm done. I'm ready for the new, right? But there is something in finishing out cycles, closing out cycles, taking the time to rest and relax and reflect. I'm tending to think that this could be like the last 9 years. It doesn't have to be, but it could be like a long period of time where you have really been transforming. You can really look back to something that happened 4, 5, 9 years ago and say, yeah, I'm not that person anymore. And really mean it, just really kind of mean it. And sometimes, when the transformation is taken like 9 years or 4 years or 5 years, sometimes we have a hard time recognizing it ourselves, or even the people that we're around a lot of the time, daily or at least weekly. Like people may, kind of forget because it happens so slowly over a long period of time. And I feel like there is some need for reflection here before you move into this new cycle of really appreciating yourself, really appreciating all the obstacles that you have overcome to get to this point of true healing, because I do feel like you have really done the healing process. So you're in this really good position of having this true healing, of being able now to build in your career and money sector, right? What it is that you want to create. I think, up to this point, it may have been very difficult because you were dealing with a lot. You were going through this major transformation. Once again, I was a teacher, elementary school teacher. When kids were going through a birth spurt, when kids were going through a growth spurt, it was amazing. Like they really and truly could not learn that much. It was like the brain turned off for a little bit, right? And that's okay because their bodies were like growing, especially in the spring. They would just like grow. When I taught 7th and 8th grade, they would just like come in and they'd be like a foot taller the next day. Not that much, but when you're going through big spurts of growth, spiritually, physically, emotionally, right? It is sometimes hard for you to also focus on building a career or financial stability. Not that you haven't been working on it, Sag, but it's kind of like you may not have had necessarily the true energy and focus that you wanted to put into it, but you just didn't have the energy or the mental clarity or the ability to focus for long periods of time because you were doing all of this other growing emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You were transforming in so many other areas. It was just kind of like maybe, your brain just went on a little bit of a hiatus and you couldn't focus on building your career or your money or your financial stability. And now it's kind of like, okay, I did that. I finished that. Now I'm ready to go work on my career and money. Yeah, it's really nice because I feel like there could be this little bit of you that says, am I ever going to get back on track? But I think that's what the message is here. You're on track. You're better than on track. You've made so much progress. It has taken a long time, so you may not recognize it, but you have made a tremendous amount of progress. You might want to journal about that because, think back to when, your last big event in life happened and how are you different now? How, not just like physically or in the material world, that counts, but also like what beliefs have changed? What patterns of behavior have changed? What are you the most proud of that you have accomplished? And a lot of times that's not in the material world. A lot of times that's in, I have learned to be so much more patient and compassionate with myself and the people that I interact with, right? Or, I try to be more open-minded and look at situations from the viewpoint of other people instead of just focusing on my, perception of it. Yeah, so I feel like you've done so much growing. Okay, so let's see what the advice is here. And then we are going to clarify. Yeah, trapped in fear. Okay, so this is the Eight of Swords. It's the message here is that it's your own self-doubt that is holding you back. And I really feel, Sag, that is coming in because it's been such a long journey, and it's kind of like almost giving up hope. A little bit of feeling like, is it ever going to work for me? Am I ever going to be able to accomplish what I'd like to accomplish in my career and money sector? Am I ever going to be able to create that business that helps other people heal? Just like you're creating, and you may be creating it, but you're not yet finding the reward in it, the financial reward. So it's a little bit of doubting. Authority. This is the Emperor on the bottom. The message I'm getting here is that, you're doubting whether you can actually step into your power and really, accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. But the message I'm getting is that when you're in this energy, you're thinking the most about yourself. In order to transform your career and money sector, try thinking about what it is that you want to create and how you want to help others. Try to shift your perspective from what you are kind of fearing or lacking into what the love of what it is that you're trying to create and the feeling that you're trying to give your customers, your clients, or the people that you're going to be interacting or working for, right? It's that beginner's mindset. It's like the new teacher. The new teacher comes in and she or he may not know all of the tricks of a veteran teacher, but they have this special gift of compassion for students, a special gift of enthusiasm, of being able to draw kids in that maybe another teacher couldn't. And it's all because they're just positive. New teachers are so positive, right? And so I feel like that's the message here is that, is to shift your perspective from, why is this not working for me, to it's almost like how can I give more to the people that I am trying to reach? How can I help them? Coming from that sense, which I know is difficult. Look at this. Prosperity begins. That's the Ace of Pentacles. When you shift your mindset into the energy of love and of positivity, instead of fear or self-doubt, you can't have both in your mindset at the same time. You can't have fear and love. So if you shift into love, the fear will go away. When the fear goes away, then you really shift into this positive energy. You have so much more enthusiasm. You're more inspired. You know, you bring a different energy, a different vibe to what it is that you're creating. So let's see what the outcome is. Oh my gosh, the Empress. And then look at this, solar plexus on the bottom. So you have the root chakra, and so this is the first chakra and the third chakra. You know, it is about creating, and then you have the Empress. You know, these two go together. Creating what it is that you want from your heart, from your true being. And then look at this material harvest. It only gets better. That's the Nine of Pentacles. You know, victory and success. Oh my goodness. Wisdom. You know, just it's on your path. It's all about shifting your perspective of knowing that this is coming, trusting yourself, knowing that you're on the right path, that what you're creating, what you're doing, how you're trying to help other people is really going to make a difference. And even if you're not seeing the financial rewards yet, or if you're just starting the journey and you're worried, will you ever have the financial rewards? You will. It's here. It's all about your mindset. Okay, so let's take a look. I want to pull a couple of tarot cards here. Let's see what this base chakra is. Yeah, getting clarity about what has been holding you back. The fears of, you know, financial security, of stability, getting clear, knowing that you have it, you know, that you can make those wise decisions that will help to keep you financially stable. You know, the King of Swords is kind of like, you could almost say, you know, he's kind of like the epitome of your CPA or your financial, you know, planner or investor, right? The King of Swords can make very good, logical decisions. There's very little heart in it. I'll have to say that. It's all kind of like black and white. It's ink on paper, right? But in that, you do have that ability to make those really good decisions that will keep you financially stable and safe. And then look at this, the King of Cups. I love this because you have your heart and your mind coming together. That's when the magic happens. The magic happens when you can put your heart and your mind together, and one doesn't like try to fight the other. So you don't have the ego or your fear and I don't know. We don't really have, and your heart, okay? Right now you may have a lot of fear, you know, how am I going to pay the rent? How am I, you know, going to save for those new tires I need, you know, whatever it is. How, you know, if you've started your own business and you actually hired some people, or you need to buy some new inventory or whatever it is, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, how am I going to make ends meet? It's that energy. And this is what you have to put to the side. Step into that energy of knowing that you are making good business decisions, that you have the ability to do that. It could be that somebody a long time ago told you you weren't very good at keeping your books or something like that. Well, you know, if you really aren't, then the King of Swords would say, yes, that is not a skill I'm very good at, so I'm hiring somebody, you know, instead of just like pushing forward and doing the book. If that's really not something that you're very good at, that's all right. You hire somebody to do it for you, you know. All right, spiritual strength. Yeah, giving yourself a little bit of a break. Sag, I think you just need to give yourself a little kiss of love, you know. Look at how far you have come. Go back to that. Where were you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, even 5 months ago or 9 months ago? Some of you may have changed so dramatically, transformed so much in such a short period of time. And some of you, it may have been a longer time, but go back and really kind of congratulate yourself for what you have accomplished, how you have changed, how your thinking is different. I feel like, part of it is that when we switch from like just concentrating on the 3D and then kind of trying to step into our spiritual path of creating something that is really helpful for other people. A lot of you have probably thought about changing careers, or you have changed careers. I know from the comments, some of you have gone back to school to move into different fields of, like nursing or healthcare, something like that. This is the reality that the beginning is starting, right? And it's kind of like, okay, is this really going to work out for me? Because up until this time, it's kind of been a little bit of a dream, a little still out of reach, a little bit down the path. And now it's all of a sudden, oh my goodness, it's here. So is this really going to work for me? Did I make the right decision? Yes, you did. You did, Sag. You made the right decision. Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah, stepping into your truth. The Ace of Swords, having victory when you step into your truth and you put the fears to the side and you say to yourself, thank you, fears, for keeping me safe. But guess what? I know my truth, and I know that I am going to be successful. I'm going to step into my power and understand that this is exactly what I am supposed to do, and to do it with love, So, and what do we have here? 7 of Cups, Ace of Wands, the Magician. Yeah, justice, everything coming into balance for you. Literally into balance. Your balance, your balance sheet, your profit and loss, it's going to be okay. It's going to balance out in your favor. Yeah, we have the Ace of Wands, getting inspired to really kind of move in this direction of manifesting what it is that you want in the 3D. And at the same time, helping other people. And I really like this because, let's go back to that, what I was saying about you've spent so much time growing in other areas. And so, your career and money sector may have, I don't want to say fallen behind, but say you stop, you quit your job and you went back to school, and going back to school is expensive. You had to pay for the schooling, plus you were not working or working as much. So you took like this financial hit during that time, right? And now you're like stepping maybe into actually, starting a job now in this new career field. And, you're kind of worried. You may have run up a lot of debt trying to get to this point. But it's going to pay off. It is going to pay off. Just try to step out of the fear, reframe. Every time this energy comes into your energy, the lack, the feeling of poverty, of not having enough, not being enough, just reframe it. Make it positive, reframe it, and say it like 3 times, at least 3 times. Try to counterbalance all of that negative talk that might be creeping in. And it's only because you're stepping into a new cycle. It is totally new. Your ego is like, wah, alarm bells going off. We're doing something new. Oh, we're not going to be safe. No, you have worked on your root chakra. You are safe, and you know that. You know that you can get through this, that it's got good stuff at the end. How can I surrender even more in this moment? Yeah, it is essential to have clear, strong intentions of what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. It's time to surrender. Let the universe have some breathing room to work. Let go of the wheel and trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you cannot see yet, but you know is coming. Because you do know it's coming. When we get into this energy, what happens is that we put the brakes on it. Here's your material harvest and your victory and success. They're coming in. They're coming in. Here they come. Here they come. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, you have an expectation of when it should come in or what it should look like, right? And then when it's not coming in fast enough, or it's not coming in exactly the way that you wanted it to, this comes in. Well, it blocks it. It's like, oh, we're trying to get around this fear. Nope. So the fear is completely blocking what it is that you're trying to bring into fruition, but it's on the way. So it's just getting into that energy of knowing, even though you can't see it yet, knowing that it is on its way. Worthiness. I feel worthy and have very special talents that will help me to achieve my goals. That's a great mantra. So when, this fear starts, creeping in, say that mantra or something like that in order to kind of counterbalance it, because you do have a special, it's a special talent, special gifts that really you need to share with the world, Sag. The world needs you. So it's about, giving yourself an extra little pat on the back for all that you have already been through, right? The strength that you have gained, the courage, how far you have come so far, and step into your truth and shine your light. And then the abundance will come in very, very quickly. Breakthrough. How many beautiful, heartfelt wishes have been crushed by fear? How many times has society's voice of disapproval cast a shadow on your dreams? It is time to break free of these false beliefs and realize your dreams. Allow your heart to guide you. Trust your inner guidance. The time is right. You know how I was saying the divine timing? The time is right. It's coming in. It's about you stepping into your truth and realizing it is coming. It is coming. I may not know exactly what day and what time, but it is coming. And, putting down the fears of all of those, concerns about judgments of other people, what they will think. Yeah. I know the other thing when I was reading it, remember, you can only have fear or love in your energy. So you can either have one or the other. So when the fear pops in, that's why it's really important to eliminate it. The best way to do that is to think loving thoughts. That's why reframing our negative thoughts with positive thoughts is such a great, antidote to negative thinking. Even if you don't initially believe it, it doesn't matter. Just keep saying it. And then all of a sudden you'll say, oh yeah, I do believe that, and then, all of a sudden before you know it, it's part of you, you start dance to it. I always think dancing always gets the negative. Look, you cannot dance and be in this type of energy. You just can't, so turn on some music. Get your moves on. Well, Sag, I'm going to leave it there. I do personal readings. If you're interested, the link is in the description box below. Or I would really appreciate it if you would consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. And I do wish you lots of love and light in this situation. Please be gentle and kind and give yourself an extra dose of hugs and love. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now, Sag.